Good morning, everyone. Mega Mike the Movie Man here to welcome you to my channel. We have an awesome live stream planned for you all today. We're covering three very important movie news stories that are just very interesting. The ones we are covering today is we're going to talk about Disney possibly selling ABC, kind of in the rumor category right now, but we'll go over all the information and details with that. And then we got a possible director for the new 007 movie. Yes, James Bond movie. We got maybe Matthew Vaughn directing it. So we'll go into those details. Also talk about other director choices. And that's going to be a lot of fun because I'm a big James Bond fan. And then next up, we got to be updated, of course, on the WGA strike that's going on. Of course, it's having a massive impact on Hollywood right now, as we all know. So we're going to try to get any details we can here, at least just to have some more up-to-date information. So very important news stories. As we go through the news stories today, I want to hear from you all out there. Go ahead and put in the comments your thoughts, your questions. That's how we really get some good movie discussions going on these topics, and I really appreciate it. It makes the live streams a whole much more fun time, and you all are awesome for doing that. So really appreciate it. So try to stay on topic as much as possible. And then of course though, I want you guys to be able to ask anything you want. That's going to be for the Ask Anything section towards the end of the video. And you can ask anything your heart desires. If you want me to do a recent movie review, a ranking, any topic, could be a fun topic. If you want to talk about fantasy football, go for it. Any fun questions, we'll say for the Ask Anything section. And then, of course, got to remind everybody to go ahead and mega smash that like and subscribe. Support the channel if you love movies and unlock thank you videos through the super chats. They are also important, those super chats. As little amount as you can give is always greatly appreciated, but never expected. And if you're watching on the replay, definitely check out Super Thanks as well. And then we got some awesome merch available on the channel, as you all know. And if you actually want to have some input into the content of the channel, look at the higher tier memberships and see, hey, you know what? Maybe I can choose some of the movie news topics you guys cover on the live shows. Or you have an awesome stream idea that you want to put a whole panel together just for that idea. You got to look at that top tier membership for all that goodness. But let's get into this. Let's get into the comments here and see who is joining us today. So we got Adrian James here as always. Hello there, Mike. How are you doing today? I'm doing great, Adrian. I got up, I went on my morning walk, and then, yeah, I got my coffee ready, had a little bit of breakfast. Look at my Oogie Boogie mug today. Look at that. Isn't that so awesome? I just love that mug. And then, yeah, ready here for some movie news discussion. So this is going to be a lot of fun. Thank you, Adrian, for always being here. And usually you're the first one here, so that is awesome. We got Tyler in the chat here. Hi, Mike. How's your day? Tyler, is this my first time seeing you in the chat? Maybe it is, but if so, welcome to the channel. I love your icon, by the way. Is that a Spider Man 2 video game logo? That is fantastic. I want to play that game so bad. I really want to get the new console. You got Mortal Kombat 1 that just came out. You got Spider Man 2. I mean, ooh, so tempted by a PlayStation 5. Craig, we got saying, hi, Mike. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday, Craig. Thanks for being a longtime supporter of the channel as well. You are awesome. And then we got Hisham, another longtime supporter of the channel. It is movie time, so let's get right into this. Like I said, as we go through the news stories, you guys go ahead and leave your comments below. Or if you're also watching on the replay, leave those comments. I do get to all those comments, and we can continue the conversation later. But first, we got to talk about Disney possibly selling ABC. Like I said, there's conflicting information here in the different articles I went into, and I did link the main article in the description below if you kind of want to do the scavenger hunt as well to kind of find out what's going on. But let's get into it. Let's get up the overlay for you all to kind of check out this information here. Bob Iger continues to shake things up at the House of Mouse, and his next move could be selling the company's flagship broadcast network, ABC, all but spelling out the end of the broadcast era as we know it. Hours later, another report came in from Bloomberg, this time saying media mogul and CEO of Allen Media Group Brian Allen had offered to buy ABC as well as FX and National Geographic for 10 billion. In August, Iger doubled down, laying out a future for Disney that would center on streaming, ESPN, film studios, and theme parks. None of this is surprising, given Disney is looking to unload non-core assets, and when a stock is under pressure, as Disney has been, it needs to unload core assets and conserve capital, and this deal would be consistent with that. Media M&A advisor Peter said of the reported talks. Okay, so a lot of information in there to unpack. ABC, wow, that is a massive network. I remember watching ABC all the time for things like Shark Tank. I love Shark Tank. Now I just watch it on YouTube. They do a pretty good job of, having an ABC YouTube channel and whatnot. But back in the day, watching it, broadcast TV, getting it recorded, watching it on the replay. So I would go to ABC sometimes, and, they would have good family shows as well back in the day, 90s, early 2000s stuff. So yeah, I remember ABC pretty fondly. National Geographic didn't watch too much. Um, FX I watched a little bit of course. So yeah, this is definitely a large deal that could happen here. I mean, it was saying the offer with 10 billion for these networks here. Wow, that is definitely a lot, but it makes sense with Disney's future plans. You can see Disney is still focused on streaming, right? They're still wanting to, kind of improve the theme park experience because they've been getting some backlash with all of that recently. And they probably kind of see the future with, hey, broadcast error television, broadcast is kind of going away. Cable TV is going away. People are cutting the cable TV cord. I mean, me, myself, and I here do not even have cable TV anymore. I mean, I cut the cord a couple of years back. I just wasn't using it as much as I used to. And because I have physical media in the theaters for movies, I was covered there. And then for shows, I was covered with, once again, a little bit of physical media, but then streaming most of the shows I wanted to watch. And then I was like, why do I have cable TV? Outrageous prices for really something I'm not using a whole lot. So I got rid of the cable TV myself. It'd be great to hear. Do you guys still use cable TV out there? And how often do you use it in comparison to streaming, physical media, theater going? Is it kind of equal, balanced out, or is it, the least thing you watch? That would be really interesting to hear from the audience members out there. But yeah, I guess Disney does not care as much about it anyway. And once again, I don't know, I feel Disney's very short-sighted sometimes, and they're always looking at the immediate gains. They want to please the stockholders. So what do they want to do? Okay, hey, let's sell off these assets that we maybe don't need to utilize anymore for some big chunk of change that'll make stock prices go up, and they'll be happy campers, those stockholders. I mean, it's kind of similar to what they did with announcing so many sequels. They were like, "Oh, we got to get the stock back up. Zootopia 2, Frozen 3, let's get all these sequels. Toy Story 5, come on, sequel, sequel, sequel." They really are just thinking about the quarter of how the stocks are going to be looked at, and pleasing those stockholders, which may work in the short gains, but in the long run, I don't know, might hurt them a little bit. So we got to be super cautious of that. But who knows? Maybe another person or another company could do a little bit more with ABC. And yeah, but do you guys watch ABC out there? Do you guys have any fond memories of ABC? Like I said, my go-to was Shark Tank for the longest time, but now I just watch those clips on YouTube, and it works well enough. I was watching, a Shark Tank clip right before this show, so I'm like, I'm kind of content with that. Don't need the cable. Let's see what your guys' thoughts are though, because that's always the best interaction. Let's see. Tyler is saying, it's me, Mike. Remember, I just changed my profile. Okay, okay, Tyler. Remind me, where do I know you from? That did you change the name or just the icon image? Let me know, Tyler. Let me know. Sorry, my memory is not the best sometimes. Like literally, I'll forget things I should remember. Oh, I'll tell you a story of that right now. So yesterday was Batman Day, right? And it's kind of like Batman weekend. There's some theaters playing classic Batman movies like The Dark Knight, things of that nature. And I was gonna go see The Dark Knight yesterday. I was ready. I had all my Batman gear on. And then I look at the time, the show time, and I'm like, wait, it started like 30 minutes ago. I don't know how I mixed up the times. I don't know where I got the wrong time from. But then I was so sad because I didn't get to celebrate Batman Day. So that was really unfortunate. So my memory is not the best. So you let me know, Tyler. Hisham saying this CEO should be fired. Well, they just brought back Bob Iger. They've been, Bob Iger feels like he's been trying to get out of the game a long time, right? He keeps retiring. They keep bringing him back. They brought back Bob Iger to try to fix the stuff that Bob Chapek implemented, right? Because he was like damaging the theme park stuff and all that. At least from what I hear. Once again, I was not there, so I don't know. This is all just secondhand information. So they keep bringing back Bob Iger. So I don't think they want to get rid of Bob Iger. And I think Bob Iger is good for the stockholders, but is he great for the general audience now? Is he great for the general public? Now that's a different question there. Uh, but yeah, like I said, it seems very short-term focus. He's getting stuff in the short term, and then he'll probably retire and be happy with that. So who knows? Who knows what Disney's going to look like in 3, 5 years? It'll probably be vastly different. So yeah. Well, and once again, if he gets those stock prices up, stockholders are going to be happy with him, so they're not going to get rid of him. No way. Public may not be so happy, but hey, sometimes it goes back to the money, right? They always say follow the money. All right, Internal Melancholy says, "Good morning, Mike and all." Hey, Internal, how are you doing today? Always great to see you. Another person that's always great to see. We've got Nerdy Film Girl in the chat saying hello to everyone. Also has an amazing channel out there. You guys got to check that one out. Um, yeah, it's great. Tyler said, I still use cable TV, but more of a physical media person than streaming. Absolutely. You know me, I'm all physical media if I can. Very rarely will I do streaming. If I don't have the disc of something and it would take too much time to get a disc of something, then I'll go to streaming. Like last night, I did stream a movie that my wife needed to watch for a certain like school kind of project and all that. So I did stream a movie. It worked out fine, but I know the image would have looked way better if I had it on the disc. I will say that for sure, and the sound. Internal Melancholy says, I don't use cable, but streaming services keep getting high. It might be cheaper to get cable. That's true. It's getting to that point where they're pretty much the same price now. So what do you do now with the streaming services? Do you pick and choose which ones you want? I think we're at that point in my household where we're like, do we really need Disney Plus right now? They really hiked up the prices. Do we use it that often? And I'm like, I don't really use Disney Plus much anymore. Plus, they just are releasing still books for certain streaming shows they had. So if I really want to see those shows in the future, maybe they're going to do more physical media releases. Do we really need that streaming service? And maybe we'll limit ourselves to maybe a handful. Maybe we'll have like Paramount because I got to see my competition reality shows like Survivor and Big Brother. Those are always staples for me. So I need them. Hulu's another one. My wife loves using Hulu for a lot of TV series out there, and they have a good variety on there. And then maybe, what would be the third one? It's going to be a fight between like Disney and Max. Max has kind of been disappointing me lately with the name change and then the interface of the layout of their app now. I don't know. It's not as cool as was before. So we'll see who gets the third spot, but we may limit down to just three. We'll see. Well, and then of course we got Prime, Amazon, because that's part of the Amazon Prime shipping. You save money getting physical media shipped to the house. So that's like always going to be there. Let's see. Craig says, I use satellite for Dodgers and Lakers games. Plus, girlfriend likes to watch recorded shows. See, there you go. So they're definitely a place for cable TV then. Nerdy Film Girl says, I use my friend's parents' cable log if I need to watch something live. See, there you go. See, it's kind of like the streaming sharing password type of thing, which seems the streaming services are now cracking down on a little bit. But then is that causing them to lose subscribers as well? I mean, where's the give and take with that? Tyler's saying, I just changed my icon. I asked you a question about giving it. Oh, Tyler, you are right. Right when you mentioned the college thing. Yep, I know exactly who you are. Thanks for reminding me. I think 2 weeks ago. Yes, absolutely, Tyler. How is the college stuff going in? By the way, did you already start college? Is it going well? I would love the update on that, Tyler. But yeah, Craig is saying before 1980s only had channels 2 and 3. No, 2 to 13. How to get up to change channel. Can you believe that? Oh yeah, changing what the dial TVs. Well, you know what? I have to get up and adjust my TV because one of my remotes doesn't work for just turning on the TV now. Maybe it needs new batteries. I don't even want to check on that. So I get up and click the power button. I should check if it needs batteries. So Tyler says I like Bob, but it's annoying that he does this stuff, but I respect him for fixing up Disney and Marvel. Well, has he fixed up Marvel yet? I feel like we're still waiting on the Marvel stuff. The Marvel stuff has been a little shaky, and I don't know how Marvel's gonna look in a few years from now. I mean, with the projects we have coming out, I just saw the new trailer for the Marvels, and I'm like, I'll go see it. There could be some fun with it, but it's not like Avengers level, like, oh, so excited, counting down the days, right? I'm like, oh, when it turns on, I'll watch it. So we'll see. Hisham says, Bob Iger really ruined Disney? Do you think so, Hisham? I don't know. A lot of people used to really like Bob Iger, but then stuff has been coming out lately about Disney, especially with the strike stuff. I think that's hurt the reputation with Iger. So maybe no more Iger will work in this kind of landscape we have right now. So it's different. It's different than it was a few years ago. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Tyler says, it's been all right. Had a tough start. But I have a person who helps me currently, helping a friend who is stressed out because messed up her timetable. She's stressed a lot and makes me worry. Uh, Definitely understandable, Tyler. I know it can be very stressful time, especially being in a new environment. All those classes, I get it. But it's good that you're there with your friend. You're there, and you guys can, I guess, help each other out and things of that. You know, study groups, all that fun stuff, and just keep working through it. Just keep persevering, and it gets better as you go along. As you learn more of the college system, you get into good habits. As long as you're making good habits, you should do good. You should do good. So, wish you once again the best of luck, Tyler, and keep updating me as we go along these future weeks and future months. Internal Melancholy says my the Exorcist Steelbook just arrived. Can't wait to watch it. Of course, after you're live. Yeah, I wanted to get that Steelbook because I like the blues with it, with Reagan on there. It did look like really creepy. So I wanted to get that one, but then it was sold out when I checked on Best Buy. I'm like, okay, that's lame. Is it ever going to get back in stock? Maybe it will, maybe it won't. But then the slipcover, I'm like, maybe I'll go the slipcover option. I can take a cheaper option on this one. It's going to be a blind buy. But then I just don't like the artwork with that slipcover, like with the Reagan eyes. Like, I don't know. It's like greens. It's like a throw up green on it and orange. I don't know. It looks gross. Yeah, it just doesn't look appealing for artwork for a slipcover. So I don't know. I don't know if I'll get that one, but let's see. Maybe in the future, maybe on a discount. Maybe. Nate saying the CEO before Iger came back is the one who nearly ruined Disney. Yeah, Bob Chapek. But once it's kind of funny though, because Bob Iger is the one who selected Bob Chapek as a successor, right? So, ooh, does Iger have some responsibility for that? Who knows? But now we got to clean up the mess. All right, great comments here. I love this interactivity this morning. You guys are doing fantastic. Love it, love it. Okay, let's get into our next one here. Let's talk some, I guess, more positive news, right? James Bond, Matthew Vaughn, very hinted at to be the next director for that next 007 film. And let's get into the details of this. Like I said, this is another kind of almost rumor one, a little bit of shaky stuff in here, so we'll see how it plays out in the long run. But let's look at the details. Just as there are many actors said to be in the running to play James Bond, there's just as many directors being eyed to helm the next installment. Take this with a grain of salt for now, but according to scooper Daniel Rickman, Matthew Vaughn is rumored to be the top choice to direct the next James Bond movie. Matthew Vaughn has come up in regards to directing James Bond before, but he's previously said that he doesn't think it would ever happen. I don't think the Bond people would touch me with a stick. Vaughn told Screen Rant in 2021. I don't think they don't like me. I don't know. To be blunt, I love Bond. It's obviously a huge influence on me. You wait till you see Argyle. He obviously has plenty of experience in the spy genre with the Kingsman franchise, as well as upcoming Argyle starring Henry Cavill. Another director who has been in the James Bond rumor mill is Christopher Nolan. And while he said that it would be an amazing privilege to direct a Bond movie, he would also want total creative control. You wouldn't want to take on a film without being fully committed to what you bring to the table creatively, Nolan said. So, as a writer, casting, everything, it's a full package. You'd have to be really needed and wanted in terms of bringing the totality of what you bring to a character. Otherwise, I'm very happy to be the first in line to see whatever they do. I doubt Bond producer Barbara Broccoli would want to cede that kind of control to anyone, even Nolan. While a lot of information to unpack there, a lot of different directing options, and these are just a couple names. I'm sure there's been more names thrown out there for a director. But let's talk about some of these. First, let's talk about the Nolan one we heard at the end. Do we want Christopher Nolan for a James Bond movie? And I got to hear your guys' thoughts on that. I did a Nolan stream not too long ago. We dived through all of Nolan's filmography. And after doing that, I really have to say, I don't want Nolan for a James Bond movie. Now, hear me out here. I know some people are massive Nolan fans. For me, I'm in between. Some of his movies, favorite movies of all time, like the Dark Knight trilogy. Some of his my movies, my least favorite movies. We don't need to mention the titles anymore. You guys know. But for a James Bond movie, he kind of already made his own interpretation, right? With Tenet. Tenet was a more spy action kind of thriller type of movie. And I feel that would be his James Bond type of movie. I feel he would make it very convoluted. It'd be super confusing. It would look really cool. Don't get me wrong. Nolan is always great, even on the movies I don't really care about. He's great with the visuals. He's great with usually the sounds. Some sound mixing issues in Tenet, but music in general and whatnot. So he can bring some great stuff to it. But I don't know. I think he would try to include some time stuff in there or some other sci-fi element that would maybe, convolute it too much and confuse the audience too much. So I think Tenet was kind of his, hey, if Tenet worked out really great, then yeah, I definitely want you for Bond Nolan. Tenet did not work out so great. So I'm like, no, no Nolan for Bond, at least in my thoughts. Maybe you guys can convince me out there in the audience. What do you guys think of, Nolan's films? And of course, do you think he'd be perfect for James Bond? Because once again, he would have a lot of control over it. And I don't think the Broccolis would give them that control. So I don't think they're going to be the top choice there. But we got Matthew Vaughn, right? That's really who the story was really mainly about. Now, Matthew Vaughn, I never even heard about until looking at this information. Once again, the articles in the description if you want to dive in there. By hearing, okay, he was the Kingman movies. Okay, I gotcha. I know who Matthew Vaughn is. Now I like the first Kingsman movie. Didn't really care for the second one as much. There's some fun stuff in there, but it gets a little bit more like kooky than I wanted. But the first one was really good. And then the last one, I don't know if he did all three of them. That last one though, that like prequel one that had that World War One context. I didn't really care for. There's something off about that movie. I think there was a lot of scenes that dragged, a lot of scenes that got a little too weird. So I didn't really care for that last one, but that first Kingsman was good. Now, Argyle, I don't even know, is Argyle a movie or going to be a TV series? You guys will have to let me know that in the comments. So we'll have to check that out. But I don't know, Matthew Vaughn for directing the next James Bond could be a fine choice. It's not a choice I love. It's not a choice I despise. Kind of in that middle area where it's like, okay, let's see what he does. But it's going to be great to see, hey, who gets paired up with him as the James Bond actor. I think that's going to be really, really crucial because then we're probably going to have this James Bond for a long time. And I think they're trying to go younger on the James Bond. That way they can have that James Bond for quite a few movies out there. So it'll be interesting to see what they do. But I'm going to say, I do hope, and let me know if you guys agree with me. I want them to kind of take James Bond back to kind of the 90s, early 2000s days, and go more towards a little bit, I don't know what you would say, not as dark in tone. Of course, there's going to be serious elements in there, but I felt the Craig movies sometimes got a little too serious, a little too dark, maybe a little bit lighter. I do want James Bond to be having fun as James Bond, right? He's, a super spy. I want James Bond to be having a good time with all the gadgets. Like, let's bring the gadgets back. Let's bring a little bit more of the fun nature to being James Bond. Uh, so I want to see that going future in the next James Bond type of movies. Let me know if you guys agree on that, or if you disagree. You love the Daniel Craig stuff, and there are a few Daniel Craig movies I really did love. I love Casino Royale. I really like Skyfall as well, was great, and then even the last one, No Time to Die, I really liked. I think I liked it more than most people out there. The only ones I didn't care for, like Quantum of Solace, didn't like that. But I think that had some issues when there was a strike going on, the writer strike with that one. And then Spectre, I didn't care as much about, but the rest were pretty good. But let's see your guys' comments here. Gotta get your guys' comments in this. Let's see. We got, yeah, Nate saying, imagine a Henry Cavill plus Christopher Nolan 007 movie. I would be cautiously excited about that. Of course, Henry Cavill as a James Bond, he was great in A Man from Uncle. You remember that Guy Ritchie spy thriller movie? That movie's fantastic. So Henry Cavill could definitely pull off a James Bond. I would love to see Henry Cavill as James Bond, but Christopher Nolan directing it, I don't know. Hey, maybe a little Guy Ritchie combo in there. I would love to see Guy Ritchie as a director with Henry Cavill again. I don't know. Like I said, Christopher Nolan, it's either going to be a movie I love or it's going to be a movie I really don't care about. It's like half and half with his filmography for me. So it's kind of funny, you know? Craig says, yes, we need a new James Bond and story. Yeah, we'll definitely get it. I mean, it's such a popular franchise. I think isn't it the longest running ongoing like movie franchise that just keeps continuing? I think it is. You guys correct me if I'm wrong on that, but it's been going since what? 60s, right? I think 60s was the first one. Is that when Doctor No came out? Don't think it was 50. I think it was 60s, but you guys let me know the date on that. So it's been going for a long time. And yeah, I love the James Bond movies. My favorite. Well, I can't spoil it. This might be a future stream, right? If you guys want it, let me know. That might be a future stream. Let's see. Hisham says, speaking about James Bond, I heard rumors Christopher Nolan will be directed. I mean, I always hear those rumors because Christopher Nolan seems like he would really want to make a James Bond movie, but I don't know if the Broccoli's would give up creative control. Now, maybe there is a higher likelihood now that Oppenheimer did so well, so maybe the money there, they'll be like, "Ooh, yeah, we got to get Christopher Nolan." So I could definitely see that he is an option. I don't know. I feel like we need a studio to have some kind of input into it because if you give Nolan full creative control, it might go off the rails. It's just something, especially with like an established franchise with 007 James Bond. This isn't a brand new idea. I don't know. I feel like Nolan might get a little too wild with it. I'm going to say, Nolan, we got to pull it back a little bit. So I don't know. I don't know if they would relinquish the full creative control to him. That's the only thing. Hisham saying Henry Cavill and Idris Elba would be perfect as new James Bond. Yeah, Idris Elba would be great. I just think they want to go younger. So that's the only reason I would say not Idris Elba, but he's a great actor. So that would be an interesting choice, and I would be down for that. That'd be kind of cool. But Henry Cavill, I love the Henry Cavill choice. Let's see, Hisham saying, "Are you a James Gunn fan?" Yeah, I'm a fan of James Gunn. I like his movies that I've seen so far. So, wait, as a director and a creative, yes. You guys have heard me rant on him as a studio head. So, yeah. Let me rephrase that answer. All right. Nate says, I really want Andrew Lincoln to be the next Bond, but I think it will be someone else. Now, Nate, you'll have to let me know who is Andrew Lincoln? I don't know. Like I said, my memory is terrible, and with actors especially, I'm terrible at remembering actors, and I mix actors up that look similar, and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I'm getting confused." Yeah, you'll have to let me know who that is. Excelsior movie reviews in here agree Nolan would make a long Bond movie and make it too dark. Yeah, I agree. And we need this type of next Bond movies to be fun. Gotta have them be fun. And yeah, gotta get away from the long movies. We don't need an Oppenheimer length James Bond movie. Could you imagine it'd be like 3 hours? Oh my gosh. No, no, not a 3 hour James Bond movie. Please, no. Hisham is saying best James Bond gadget. I always liked the car from Tomorrow Never Dies, the little remote control he uses in the car in the parking garage. I love that. That was super cool. So I might go that one. Uh Internal Melancholy, I wouldn't mind it if make James Bond film new. I'm not a big Bond fan, and I haven't seen a lot of them. But is the name James Bond his real name or code name because there's been different Bonds? That's a good question. I think, well, he's a spy. It would have to be a code name, right? Or is that his actual name? I know he also goes by 007. That's also a code name. But it's something I never thought about. And I've seen all the James Bond movies, a lot of them multiple times, but I never thought about that. Um, yeah, that's a good question. But yeah, I'm a big James Bond fan. I have all the movies still on DVD. I have some on Blu-ray. And it's not like I love every single James Bond film. There's definitely been missteps in there. But overall, I like a good spy action thriller movie. Um, so yeah, let's see. Nate saying the guy from Bridgertons would be a good choice. Okay. See, I don't watch Bridgertons. I heard great things about it, but haven't seen it. Let's see. And you guys let me know, how is my video, mic, and lighting look today? Does it sound okay? Look okay? You guys let me know that as well. Um, I'm not lagging, am I? All right, Hisham is saying worst James Bond movie. Like Quantum of Solace comes to mind because that's like the one I'd probably want to rewatched the least. So that's off the top of my head. Craig saying yes, Mike, Sean Connery, Roger Moore, Pierce Brosnan, combo. Yeah, those were all great Bond actors. You know, I grew up with Brosnan, so he's always been a favorite of mine. But I really like the Roger Moore stuff. I like the Sean Connery stuff. They're all great. Um, my mom is here. Hi, everyone. Yes, we need a new, good-looking James Bond. Last James Bond, ugly, no sex appeal. Wow. Oh goodness. So we got to get it. We got to get a good Bond for Mega Movie Mom. Okay, we got to get it. We got to nail this choice. Okay. But what do you think of Henry Cavill? That one who did Superman. Mom, if you remember that one, you let me know. What do you think that would be a good choice? Let's see. Nate says, I agree. Mike Nolan has a tendency to go off the rails. His movies with crazy timelines are not that good, but he's great when he does them. I agree. I love his Hollywood blockbuster stuff. That's why I love the Dark Knight trilogy. I love Insomnia. Oppenheimer's pretty good. So like I'm okay with those kind of movies, but some of his movies, like I said, they just get too confusing, man. And I can't deal with it. Yeah. Nate saying Andrew Lincoln is Rick from Walking Dead. Another show I have not seen that feels like it has a million seasons now. I see I don't watch as much TV. I'm not on the TV train. Internal Melancholy says if you want a young actor to play Bond, what about Tom Holland? I've thought about him before, but he's already doing so much and he's already a well-known actor. I want an actor that's less well-known. So like Henry Cavill, he's a cool choice, but he is a well-known actor. Usually James Bond actors are unknown and then they become known for playing James Bond. So we might want to go that way with that. And Tom Holland, he's just doing too many other stuff anyway. Even if we forgot the popularity, he's doing Spider Man. He's done Uncharted, which is already like an action thriller. So yeah, no, too much. Tom Holland doing too much. Got to get somebody different. Here's James saying, "I'm sorry, bro. I mean James Bond fans and not James Gunn fan." Yeah, I'm a big James Bond fan. I can see yeah, both James. I get it. Let's see. Craig is saying 1961 or 1962, 62, Doctor No, and From Russia with Love. I love From Russia with Love. That is one of my favorites. Doctor No is also another one of my favorites, but I love From Russia with Love. Craig says 007 is my name. Yep. Adrian saying my favorite Bond gadget is the Aston Martin DB5 from Goldfinger. There you go. Let's see. We got Emlo saying howdy, y'all. How are you doing, Emlo? Let's see. Internal Melancholy says, you sound great and look great. Well, thank you, Internal Melancholy. That makes me feel great. All right. Craig, yep, saying looks and sounds good. Tyler says, I heard Brightburn is getting a sequel. I like the first one a lot, so I don't mind. I heard that as well. I don't know how concrete the information is, but there's definitely rumors out there. I would love a sequel to Brightburn. I always wanted to get a sequel of it. I love how they mix the superhero genre with horror. Hey, if Superman was bad, what would have happened? I love that idea. So I love the premise. Now, the execution of the movie, I don't know. I wanted it to go farther, but I think they can do that in the sequel. So I'm all down for a sequel on Brightburn. All right. Oh, we got a collectors club member in here. We got Huck's Pop Culture Cafe. Hey, Mike and Super Chatters. Well, while Huck is here, I'm going to mention his challenges that are going on. If you guys don't mind out there, he has a couple challenges going on with duos, best on-screen duos for movies and TV. And if you guys didn't see my thumbnails on those, let me actually just put up the overlay. So I did my TV one last week. So it looks like this, best TV Blu-ray duos challenge. So you can look for that thumbnail on the replay. And then also this was my movie one, best 4K duos. Now those videos didn't get a ton of watches. So if you guys have not yet seen them, they're both only about, under 7 minutes or so long. And I would love to get the views up on those two and just, get more word out about the challenges Huck is doing. So I'd love if you guys haven't seen those yet, just to watch them on the replay after this live. That would be a large help. Greatly appreciate it. But yeah, those are fun challenges, Huck. So even though it hasn't gotten the views yet, for my channel, I love doing them. It was so fun thinking about duos. Such a great idea. That was awesome. Let's see. So, getting back into the comments here. Let's see. We got everybody saying hello to Huck. Lance Jackson, the movie fan. Awesome. I love that you added that movie fan to that name right there. That's perfect, Lance Jackson. Hey there, everyone. Casino Royale is my favorite Bond movie, and so is No Time to Die. I do like those. I like those both a lot. Yep. Let's see. Huck is saying, "Yeah, do the challenges. They are fun." So yeah, watch the challenge videos that everybody has put out. There's been a good number of them so far, and then do the challenge yourself. I really want to spread these challenge videos out there to help out my good collectors club buddy. And so if you guys can help by watching those videos, it's going to spread out more of them to other channels out there, and then along with that, people will start doing the challenge more themselves. So I love that. Yeah, definitely take Huck's word on that one. All right, let's see. What do we got next? So I think we got through all the James Bond talk here. It's going to be interesting to see how it plays out. Right now, if I had to predict, is Matthew Vaughn going to be the director? To me, mm, my guess, I'm kind of leaning towards no, but it might be around the 50-50 marker. I really don't think Nolan's going to be the director. And once again, we have no idea who 007 is. My initial guess would be kind of somebody who's newish and not well known. All right, but we got to get into some important stuff here. We got to talk about these strike updates with WGA. We haven't gotten a lot of information and details here, so we're kind of working with what we got, but it's impacting so much, right? It's impacting all of Hollywood, it's impacting other jobs out there. And the world is kind of watching because some precedents are going to be set with these strikes. So let's get into the information we have here. So let's look at this overlay. On Wednesday, September 13th, the WGA reached out to the AMPTP and asked for a meeting to move negotiations forward. We have agreed and are working to schedule a meeting next week. Every member company of the AMPTP is committed and eager to reach a fair deal and to working together with the WGA to end the strike, the Studio Alliance said this afternoon. With the WGA continually expressing a desire over the past 4 months for substantial talks with the AMPTP, this latest attempt at getting negotiations back on track comes amid tales of internal friction among the top studio and streamer CEOs. It also comes a day after SAG-AFTRA president Fan Drescher at a solidarity rally tore into the greedy bosses and their recently hired crisis PR firm, the Livingston Group. Words that landed hard in the C-suites we hear. It's a positive step after last week's exchanged words. The WGA told its members last week that despite the united front, the streamers and studios have shown in public during the Guild's 130-60-day strike, several of the legacy companies have privately expressed both the desire and willingness to negotiate an agreement that adequately addresses writer issues. So, yay, we kind of got some progress here, right? Sort of, a little bit. I mean, it's at least something. I guess they're talking about talking, right? They're scheduling a meeting. I know it's not a lot to work with, but we've got to work with what we have. So they're trying to plan a meeting for, I guess, this upcoming week now. Now, is that meeting going to go well? We have no idea because remember, they already had a meeting, I guess, a few weeks to about a month or so ago now. And that meeting did not go so well. It just made more sides both angry and they kind of left the table with no progress. I'm hoping this time they actually sit down and we get some progress here. And hopefully, the AMPTP, if I remember that acronym correctly, is really there to negotiate and to work with the writers and to really get to some kind of agreement. Because this writer strike, we gotta stop this here at some point. I mean, we're already almost past the longest writer strike in history. I think when it hits October 3rd, it will have now been the longest strike for them, and that's a lot of days. That's a lot of months being on strike here. And if something doesn't get solved at this next meeting, I mean, how long is this going to go, right? This could go past the new year. What if even into next summer? Could you imagine that? It's like a year-long strike or past that. Oh, that's so outrageous, right? But it's a possibility. I'm hoping it's not. Hopefully they can settle on something. I do want the writers to get, what they deserve there. So hopefully the other side, you know, goes to them with something substantial, right? We're addressing the residuals, we're addressing the wages, we're addressing the AI stuff because this is all important stuff that's going to set precedents for the future. And so the whole world is watching here. This is why it's so important that there's actually a fair deal that is met. And then, of course, then we get Hollywood going back again. We get movies coming out. We get scripted shows. We get all this stuff starting to happen again. And even though, I mean, we're still going to feel these effects though for a long time. It's not like when the strike ends, everything is going to be, sunshine and rainbows. We're still going to feel the lasting effects of the delays, kind of like how we did with the pandemic. Same thing here. So that's going to happen for months and months and maybe years after. But hey, the longer it goes, the longer we're going to feel the effects. So something has to happen here. But what do you guys think? Do you guys think this meeting is actually going to really happen and things are going to get settled? Or is it going to be like, okay, kind of, just drawing it out? Okay, we'll have this meeting to set up another meeting in a month or two. Like, how much progress is going to be made? How much meetings are they going to have to have? When are you guys predicting that the strikes are going to end? And this is just the writers here. We're not even talking about the actors. Remember that strike's going on too? But I think once the writers end, I think there's going to be more pressure applied there. And I think the actors one will probably soon finish after that. But I think they're going one by one. I think they're going to settle the writer stuff first. And then I think they're going to go with the actor stuff after that. So, like I said, no matter what, this is going to be a long time. It's just been so drawn out, right? It's like, oh my goodness, can we not get to an agreement here? Let's see. What do you guys think about this? Let's see. Hisham saying, I really hope SAG strike will be over and Deadpool 3 can start filming again. Yeah, that's once again, it's going to be a while, right? We got to get the writers one done, and we got to get the SAG one settled. So, yeah, I think Deadpool 3, it's probably gonna be, what, a delayed another year out maybe, before we even see it, so, yeah, I mean, it's kind of the growing pains we have to go through right now, but, I mean, we gotta take care of these writers and actors. This is gonna be important for the rest of Hollywood going forward. It's gonna be important for the rest of jobs and unions out there going forward, so it's crucial that, hey, we take the pain right now, but we set ourselves up for success later, so Internal Melancholy says if the strike continues, we won't get movies nor TV shows, but I think companies will release more of their movie catalog to physical media, so it could be a win for us. I guess in a way, I haven't thought about that too much. Maybe there will be more of a push for physical media. Maybe. I'm trying to think. During the pandemic time, you guys tell me because I wasn't on YouTube yet. Was there more of a push for physical media during that time? So maybe, or well, do you think people will actually start collecting more physical media because of this? Or are they just going to be going with whatever they already have on streaming, reality television? I don't know if it's going to give that much of a boost to physical media, but it'd be interesting to hear everybody's thoughts on that, though. So maybe, I mean, we've been getting good physical media release announcements at the very least. So that is something to look forward for collectors out there. So I guess there's a positive side to everything, but I mean, there's just so much negative with the issues here that I do really hope, just for everybody's sake, the whole world's sake, that this stuff gets solved. Emlo saying WGA has been on strike since May. I agree, they need a new contract. Absolutely, especially because the landscape has changed so much in TVs and movies, while the streaming stuff, the AI stuff. Since the business has changed, there needs to be a new contract. You would think simple enough, but it seems like the other side does not see it that way. So, Internal Melancholy says thoughts on Drew Barrymore crossing the picket line after the backlash, crying a pathetic apology. So I didn't see the apology. I did hear very briefly. So take it with a grain of thought, salt about the Drew Barrymore stuff. It's like, yeah. So if that's true, once again, I don't know a lot of the information. I wasn't there, so this is all secondhand nature information. But if it's true that she did cross the picket line, it's just, come on, come on. I mean, you don't do that. You don't, if you're under the union. Once again, if you're under the union, right? If you're under the union for SAG-AFTRA, um, you should not be crossing the picket line to make a show or movie. All right. What do they call them? The scabs, right? They say they're scabbing. Yeah, because what does it do? It extends the delays, right? Extends the strike. And I think really the people that are striking are relying on the larger names, the people that have been really successful in Hollywood, to stand in solidarity, because that's how the studios are going to fill it with, the large name actors and whatnot. So, yeah, if it's true that the picket line was crossed, very, very sad indeed. And yeah, Huck is saying, yeah, the greedy fat cats need to give a little so all the artists who provide the content they profit from will be covered. Absolutely. And the thing is, like, the studios are losing money now than if they would have just paid the actors and writers to begin with. So everybody's losing money at this point. It's like, just because of their big ego and them wanting to set a certain precedent and just being stubborn, right? To be a fat cat, right? It's why it makes no sense for anybody at this point. It's like, come on, get to an agreement, get to a negotiation. Let's get things moving again. This is not helping anybody at this point. Turner Melancholy says, I'm being selfish, but if the strike forces companies to put out older titles on 4Ks, I wouldn't mind seeing it last longer. See, I know it's tough. It's tough. Sometimes we got to have that mindset, though, for the good of the people, for the good of the world. We got to get these strikes over. Even though it may be good for collectors and physical media land, we want goodness for everybody in the world. So I do hope the strikes end sooner rather than later. Eternal Melancholy says, Mike, I truly doubt Disney would have put on their TV shows on physical media if it wasn't for the strike. Maybe that's a good point as well, but I don't know. I mean, I couldn't even get the Steelbook so off of Disney Movie Club. Like they were literally sold out in a couple days, and I'm not going to pay outrageous prices for them. So, is it good that they put them out? I guess if people were able to get the good deals on them, I was not. And so, yeah, they're way overpriced. I hope they get discounted. Craig said a lot of people go with over the air antenna. The classic cable stuff, right? Yeah, definitely, probably, I guess, in more rural areas too, where maybe streaming isn't as much of an option. Yeah, absolutely. Somebody's using cable TV for sure if they're still selling it. Craig saying TMZ said she just pulling plug on show, so they're canceling it then, right? Okay, makes sense. So she had the public pressure on her to then cancel it, and okay, yeah, makes sense. Nate says Disney putting the shows out on physical media has nothing to do with strike. They were always releasing those. Yeah, absolutely. I could see those too. So yeah, and I have no idea. I have no idea why they decided to release the physical media. Um, they did take such a long time to put out those shows, so it's like I've been asking for those shows the longest on physical media, and it's just like years and years later. I think they're trying to just get back into physical media in general. I think that might be a Bob Iger thing where they can get some money recuperated from home video stuff. So yeah, I think that was already in the plans. I had if I had to guess, if I was leaning towards something, I think they were already probably going to do that without those strikes. But once again, I have no idea. I'm not in the boardroom, so who knows? Once again, all secondhand information. Craig saying strike won't be solved until independent party comes in. Yep. Hey, and maybe they should get an independent party coming in. I heard wasn't they talking about wasn't the governor going to come in? I thought I heard that somewhere. Was it somebody or some kind of mediator, something? Because Hollywood is such an important thing that impacts the world, really impacts the state of California. So once again, this stuff needs to get solved. Could you think of not just the actors and the writers involved, but what about the other crew people, right? The crew people that work on movies. It's not like they can work too while, if the actors aren't there, they're still not making the movie. What's happening to them? No, so it's impacting other families out there. It's spreading. Yeah, we gotta get these strikes to an end. Yeah, Nate saying exactly the reason it took so long because Chapek was anti-physical media, but now that Iger is back, they're doing it again. Yeah, so maybe that's good news with at least the physical media stuff of side of stuff, Iger being back. So I'm hoping we get all those Disney streaming shows to physical media because then I won't need Disney Plus anymore. Yay, that would be awesome. I'll take that. I don't mind. I don't mind waiting to get it on physical media. Why not? Let's see. Okay, there we go. A lot of great comments here. Love the interactivity today. This is absolutely amazing, guys. And then, of course, so now we are into the last part of the show. Ask anything your heart desires. If you want me to review something, you want me to rank something, you want me to rant on my last Regal Theater experience, I can do that too because they totally did irritate me. But what do you guys want to see? Let me know in the comments. Also, any fun questions, totally down for any of that stuff. So you guys let me know while you guys are typing away the comments. I might as well promote some things while we're here. So once again, if you're joining in late, hitting that like button takes a half a second and really helps the YouTube algorithm gets this content out to more channels. So I love when people hit that like is so important. Also, of course, just watching videos all the way through. If you're somebody that loves the live streams, if you can also watch some of the pre-recorded stuff as well, just in the background, really helps the channel if you let it play all the way through. Once again, feeds into the YouTube algorithm and then gets the channel out to more people, get more eyes on the channel, and then we get to just have a larger community that loves talking movies, that loves physical media, all this fun stuff we really enjoy being a part of as we're really trying to push it to 15,000 subs now. We are almost there. We're past the 1,400 mark. I really want to hit 1,500 subs by my 2-year YouTube anniversary, which is actually Halloween. I love Halloween. Halloween's great, but it is Halloween, October 31st, where we'll be at the 2-year YouTube anniversary. So, any of you guys that can help out with, once again, the likes, watching videos all the way through, whether it's live stream, pre recorded stuff. Also, just spreading the word about this channel and talking to people that love movies. If you know somebody that loves movies and they don't know yet about Mega Mike the Movie Man, let them know about it, talk about it with them. And then once again, we're just going to spread the word on this channel and it's going to grow. It's going to grow and it's going to be amazing. And you guys have been amazing so far, helping this channel really, go up in trajectory and just really do well. So thankful for you all out there constantly supporting the channel in any way you can. It really makes a difference. And like I said, also feel free to check out the mega memberships if you want more control over the content topics and content ideas and all that fun stuff. I love making videos that people choose. That was something that's so fun to do. So yeah, definitely look into those. But let's look into these comments now. Let's see what we got here. All right, let's see. Internal Melancholy says, "Rant, what happened?" Okay, so I was so mad. All right, this is what happened. I think it was Friday, right? Maybe, where we saw a haunting in Venice, and so now in my theater's lobby, they put up a giant speaker that absolutely blares music, and it's pop music. It's not even movie music. Like if you're gonna be in a movie theater lobby, give me some movie theater music or let movie trailers play or something, but it's like random pop music and it's so obnoxious and loud. I can't even hear myself think in there or even talk to anybody in the lobby. And now I can't really record videos in that lobby because, the loud music, first of all, my voice doesn't come through with the phone because the music is blaring so loud. And not only that, I'm kind of worried if I did record there, maybe copyright claim. I don't want that to happen either. So now I have to go record like outside the theater or like in another hallway of the theater, and it hurts the atmosphere. I feel like everything this Regal theater does, this local Regal theater I have, they always do something to irritate me, whether it's not having certain concessions, like they didn't have Pepsi Zero for like 6 months. They were out of popcorn before. Like, I mean, it's just these certain little things that are little things, but they build up and they irritate me. But they've just done so many different things. Like, and then they don't have movie posters up of the current movies. They always only put the future movies coming out. And now I don't have anything to have in the background for, a current movie of I just saw. How do you not have current movie posters up of the movies you're advertising in the theater? It's ridiculous, right? Like, I get you want to show the stuff coming out soon, but also have some of the main popular titles up there somewhere of what's playing now so you get people's interest on it, right? Like I'm trying to promote the movies, right? By talking about them. It'd be nice to have some movie posters in the background. So it's like just every few months, this local Regal I have, and they're the only Regal near me. So if I want to go to the nice Regal, I would have to drive 45 minutes, and I don't want to spend, the cost there. But yeah, like the seats are terrible. It's not a very clean theater. Like everything a theater can do wrong, like this theater does. So they just irritate me. But they're the only game in town. They're the only movie theater in town. Like I said, I would have to drive a lot farther for another Regal, or even just another theater in general. Say I wanted to go to a different theater, I'd have to go like 30 minutes at the very minimum. And then yeah, so yeah, the Regal was slacking on me, and yeah, their brand new idea to get more people to watch movies is like blast random pop music in the lobby where nobody can even talk and build connections and talk about movies. I don't know what business sense they were thinking, or are they just trying to please the employees? I don't know. But let's see. Internal is saying any movies being picked up this week. What's coming out this week? Fall is coming out, right? That Lionsgate Steelbook. I quite like that movie. Reasonable price. I love the Lionsgate prices, so I have that pre-ordered. And then I'm trying to think. I think that's the major title I'm getting this week. You refresh my memory though, Internal Melancholy. What else is coming out this week? That's the only one I remember I have pre-ordered though. But I've been getting some good movies recently. Like last week was great for the superhero genre. We had like Across the Spider-Verse. We had Kick-Ass 2 and all of that. So there was some really fun stuff coming out. We had Sleepy Hollow was a great release. So a lot of good stuff for physical. Craig says, "Have you seen a new Aquaman trailer?" Yeah, I saw the newest one, and I'm excited for this movie. I loved the first Aquaman movie. I know some people didn't. I loved it. Thought it was a lot of fun. The second one looks like a lot of fun too. I love Black Manta. It's one of my favorite villains of all time. So I think it looks like a fun adventure superhero movie. I'm down for it. I don't know how well it's gonna do at the box office because it seems like people are against DC at the moment, and then James Gunn kind of, hurt the DC movies by, talking about his new plan too quickly. So we'll see how it does at the box office. But I really loved that new trailer. Looked fun to me, and that's all I want from a superhero movie like this one. Just give me some fun. All right, let's see. Matson says, so does cutting a video off like 10 seconds before it ends? Um, Before what ends, though? So, sorry, let me see if I understand the question. So, does cutting a video off like 10 seconds before it ends? Are you talking about like with music, maybe? With music, I don't know. I think if you have any music in any video, they can flag it pretty quickly. That's why I don't include any music in my stuff. Like if I include like a small movie scene, it's always something without music, and it's a very short, like few second clip. Because if you go longer than that, a lot of the studios will have issues. Some studios have more issues than others. I know, like Universal, they are the ones that seem to have the most issues, at least from what I've noticed. Disney is a little bit easier on stuff, so it just depends. But I think if there's any kind of music at all, it'll get flagged. Music is one of those things you do not want to mess with, unless it's like free YouTube music. But then I've even heard people use that, and then later on they come back and say, "Hey, it's no longer free. Do you want to pay a licensing fee to keep it before we demonetize you?" Like that type of stuff too always sketches me out. Emlo saying your recent experience at your cinema. Also, I would love to see your pets on one of your shows. That would be awesome. Yeah, I have a couple dogs, so maybe one of these days. Maybe one of these days. Hey, who knows? Maybe we'll do a stream where we have, I don't know, like animal movies. I don't know if people would be interested in it, but we show off our pets as well as talking about the movies. That's kind of a fun idea, right? Maybe, maybe. Internal Melancholy says like, subscribe, share on all platforms. Yeah, absolutely. And I have, I'm on Instagram. I'm also on TikTok. So yeah, you want to share out all of it on all the platforms? Absolutely, total appreciate it. Thank you so much. Hisham saying, what do you think about Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom trailer, Godzilla minus one trailer, and Monarch Legacy of the Monster trailer? So I haven't seen the Godzilla stuff. I've heard wonderful things though, and I try to not really actively seek out trailers anymore unless it's a movie I'm super excited about, or it's playing in the movie theater before a movie starts, right? That's usually when I'll see it. I was just so excited for Aquaman that I had to check out the trailer. But yeah, Aquaman 2 trailer looks fantastic. Looks fun. Huck saying, I just saw the most recent trailer of Aquaman. It looks fantastic. You took the words out of my mouth, Huck. Absolutely agreed. I think a lot of the DC movies have been awesome, have been at least fun, and I don't think they get enough credit. Like the Shazam movies were great. The Aquaman stuff has been great. Hisham says, "Are you and your wife love anime?" She probably likes anime a little bit more than me. The only anime stuff I've seen is like Dragon Ball Z, My Hero Academia. I am kind of interested in looking at the live action show of One Piece though, because I've heard such great things from other people that may not even be anime fans that I'm like, maybe there's something to this show. That's something I'll check it out. And it's short enough episodes where I can actually watch it and binge it. Mathen says, would movie music still have copyright? Possibly, but at least it would be something interesting and would go along with the movie theater. Whereas like random pop music of like Justin Bieber, like why? I don't it doesn't fit with the movie. Like I feel like they're trying to appeal to maybe a younger crowd at my movie theater and like kind of try to turn the lobby into like a club, but I'm like, but you're not really selling people on the movies that way. I don't know. I just feel like all their strategies for marketing is like what I would do the opposite of. So I don't know. I don't get it. I just don't get it. Huck is saying, Mike, being out of popcorn at a theater is not a little thing. Uh, I know. I've been so disappointed though by this Regal. It's like it doesn't phase me anymore now when certain issues come up. But yeah, they were they were out of Pepsi Zero for like 6 months. It was ridiculous. Yeah, it's just, and then they wonder why they don't make money at the theater, and then theaters have to shut down because they're not prepared and they don't have a great experience. So Yeah, it's outrageous. Craig says, "Do review in your movie seat while your movie ends?" No, but then we would have music during the credits playing. It would have to be like the movie completely shuts down, but then you got the cleaning crew in there for the theaters. That might get a little weird. I don't know. That's not a great thing either, I don't think. I don't know. I don't think there's an amazing solution yet. But thanks for letting me know the idea though. Hisham says, "Why Transformers Rise of the Beast never released a Blu-ray?" I don't know. It came out to 4K though, didn't it? I saw a steelbook for it. So it came out 4K but not Blu-ray maybe? Hmm. That's weird. That's weird that they want to go to Blu-ray. Let's see. Nate saying Natural Born Killer Steelbooks come out this week. And I've never seen that movie. I've heard good things about it, but I'm trying to get away from blind buying stuff I've never seen, especially at the high level boutique level prices. If I was gonna go with it though, I would go for the Steelbook because the Steelbook isn't that much more expensive than the slip. So I would go the Steelbook option. I just haven't seen it yet, and I'm really trying to get my collection where it's really like movies I know I'm gonna rewatch a whole bunch of times, and it's tough for me to know that on a movie I haven't seen before, you know? So it's like, I don't know. It's tough to always know what to do. And then Nate saying Barry Gordy's Last Dragon. I haven't seen that one either. I'm guessing it's a martial arts film. Yeah, martial arts is a complete blind spot in my filmography. I haven't seen a lot of the main ones. I think there's only maybe a couple I've seen. I mean, besides like comedy stuff, where if you say consider Rush Hour, but like true, just straight up martial arts stuff. I think Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, right? That's what it's called. I've seen that, but a lot of the other ones I have not seen yet. So maybe if I previewed it first and then I really liked it, maybe pick up on it. Huck is saying Last Dragon was rad, and I haven't even seen the Rad movies. I haven't seen or the Raid, whatever you call it. The Raid, I have not seen those movies. Those are another two I need to see. Um, so we'll see, maybe in the future. Once they get discounted though, because a lot of these titles will get discounted sooner rather than later. But there we go. Those are all the comments here. Thank you guys for all the interactivity today and for just being amazing and joining me here to talk the things we love. It's all about this community, having a good time with you guys. It's you guys that I do this stuff for. So I really appreciate you all being here. Now, have a good day. Have a good Sunday. Watch some amazing movies. And yeah, have a great one out there. Goodbye for now, everybody.